oscuridad he estado. Oh, pero en mi corazón no importa la tempestad. Voy a estar bien. Hay esperanza frente a mí y la luz aún la veo. No me sostendrá.
No? We're back. You never dance to your own music.
I do.
She's still dancing. It's gonna be
We have super talented singer and writer, correct? You write some of your songs? I know. Danny Gokey from the season of American Idol.
Yes.
All the way right here with us today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I know you can't dance, but I know you can do the following thing, Daddy. Okay, so at the count of 3, we're
Yes.
gonna scream "Hua" as we sit down. You got that?
Hua.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out loud. Okay.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Hua!
That was too loud
That was
for
fun.
me.
So
I'm
loud?
sorry.
Let me tell you something. I'm a
impressive.
sucker. You said that you're not Latino at all.
No,
You're
not
just
at all.
married to a half Cuban, half Peruvian
Yes.
from Miami.
Yep.
She grew up around where I grew up.
Yep.
I'm a sucker for any like American non-Latino people who like play with Latino sounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Why?
I've always been inspired by the music. So kind of my whole story is, when I was 17 is kind of when I was introduced into the Spanish culture.
Okay.
And you know, it was Puerto Ricans actually. So
How so?
my first wife was Puerto Rican, and so the first music that she got me into was Elvis Crespo, and then DLG.
Oh,
so
wow, how
DLG
funny.
was actually the first album, and I still have the album. It's one of my favorite albums. Of salsa music that I got to listen to, and so I was I'm a person who I just like to travel and I like to see things and I like to experience things. And so with her is where I first got my experience.
So I saw that you started off with like in general country music, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you write your songs and then, you know, some of them have a very nice message.
Thank you.
I saw and I loved it. But then how was the adaptation to go from there to like a little bit of salsa, bachata, all the Hispanic twist?
Yeah, well, you know, for me, the music in general, America's the melting pot. And so music all around, I was able to enjoy just many different spectrums of music. And so growing up, my father's biggest influence on me was gospel, was Motown, country, and those things had quite an influence on my life. And so then when I met my first wife, Sophia, and I started getting introduced into the Caribbean world of like salsa, merengue, bachata, and all those different styles of music.
Those beats.
Man, I love it. It's just, I love how the influence, you know, how in the culture, how the African influenced the Spaniards and the Indians, and how it just came up with the most beautiful music. Like I love music for that reason, especially that, you know, style of music, because of how different it is from what I experienced growing up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but do you also like dance it pegadito like this? And do you feel like when you're doing it?
You don't want to see me dance. If I do dance, you know, Simon Cowell on the show used to get on me for my dancing. And so, but I do dance. Like, I got to be comfortable when I dance, though. And so when I do a show, when I perform, I'm always dancing with my band. I'm doing that. But when there's all of a sudden a camera on me, I'm just freeze. Like when we started the show, I just was watching you guys dance, and I just stood here.
Well, that's why we did the wah.
Well, I was gonna ask you, because Spanish isn't your first language,
Yeah.
do you actually know consciously what you're saying while you're singing, and you're just thinking to yourself, I better not miss a song because I'm gonna throw
Yeah.
off this entire song?
No, so it's funny because I think in English.
Okay.
You know, and so when I'm piecing things, I was explaining this to someone, so when I sing in Spanish, I just memorize it.
Okay.
You know, I memorize it. Actually, when I learn a song in Spanish, it teaches me more Spanish.
Okay.
Because I see how the words are kind of fitting together, and it teaches me things. But anyways, when I'm singing, I just memorize it. But I think in English and speak in Spanish when I have to. So
Okay.
At my house, my in-laws, they live with us. It's kind of the Spanish way, apparently, my wife told me. And so when I married her, I got the entire family living
Where
in
do
my
you guys
house.
live?
This is your second wife, correct?
Yeah,
Because
so my
your
first
wife is Sophia.
Yeah, she passed away. And so I ended up getting remarried. And yeah, so they all live with me in Nashville, Tennessee.
In Nashville.
And they're all
okay.
from Miami.
Interesting.
So let me tell you, we have a very loud house.
I
and so
can
I have to go
imagine.
hide in my room
Can you
to get
handle
peace.
a conversation con los suegros o no?
Sí, oh, claro.
Ah, sí? Bueno, perfecto, ya con eso.
But my in-laws, like, my father, mi suegro
Is this the
era
Cuban side or the
peruano.
Peruvian side?
No,
Peruano.
eres peruano.
Okay.
And he's super, like, duro. And he's really, like, he's a hard one to talk with. And her whole family's impressed how I handle him because he's so, you know, cabazon. He's so, like...
Cabezadura.
Yeah, and he's so, like... But I really can handle because he's really set in his ways. But my mother-in-law, the Cuban, She's the sweetest, softest, most tender woman. I just cuddle. I always, when I get home, I just cuddle with my suegra on the couch, and I just
Like trying to
So
escape from the. Your album, the name of the album?
Esperanza frente a mí. I think. I
Do you know what that means?
Esperanza frente a
hope in
mí.
front of me. I'm so sorry. I'm thinking,
That's your
what's the name of my
album.
album?
Listen, it's
Goodness, what's the
endearing
name of
that,
it?
that you have a Spanish name
Yeah.
and you don't know it completely, but they'll look it up. It came out on July 29th.
Yeah, I think so.
People can grab it. On American Idol, when you were, did you almost not make American Idol? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so, man, so I was a semi-truck driver. I grew up in church, and so church has a real big influence on my music, especially because, you know, a lot of great singers, especially in the American culture, came from church, right? And so I was singing at church, and that's kind of where I got experienced great singers. I drove a semi-truck during the day. Anyways, Sophia used to watch American Idol because I was gone a lot. And so finally, we got DVR, and we recorded American Idol. And I was able to watch the show. This is back in 2007. And when I watched the show, that inspired me to say, I want to try out because it was my last year I could try out. And so after that, she ended up passing away 1 month before the audition that I planned to try out for. And so I didn't want to go. I really didn't want to go. But being that it was the last year that I could try out, I had no choice. It's either because it was a month. The month after her passing away, I just was so broken. But with her, you know, with kind of keeping my promise and then knowing that I could never go again, I just went. And I'm glad I did.
Oh, wow, that's
You
awesome.
know what? I'm like, I can just picture her somewhere in heaven just clapping and cheering for you. She's probably super proud.
Yeah,
Because look how far you've come. And then you took the chance, you took the leap, and it brought you where you are right now.
Absolutely.
So that's a great thing and something to always be grateful for.
It is, and I think, you know, part of my story is simply this, that people need to know that you can get up after quite a loss. Because for me, I wanted to bury myself, and I think a lot of people tend to want to bury themselves in a situation, and it really, for a lot of people, it defines them for the rest of their life. But I'm so glad that I was able to make a decision, even in the midst of it, to say, you know what, there's still more.
And to open your heart and
Yeah,
love
and to
again. And now
live
you have
again,
a
yeah.
beautiful family. I
Yeah.
saw those babies.
Listen, these are chapters of my life
So
that I
cute.
never thought would exist, and I'm so happy with the outcome. My beautiful kids, you know, I left them, you know, last night, you know, to have to come back to LA because we're on and to go back on tour, but I'm a very, very happy dad.
And let me tell you something. I have goosebumps just because, you know, tragedy, like you said, some people can never dig out of it, and to be able to overcome and it's always. I often don't think I need to be inspired by other people, but then I find myself in a moment where I'm inspired by someone else, and I'm happy that you came, and I'm
thank
happy
you.
that you got to tell us your story. But I'm gonna give you a chance to read the name of your album off the prompter. So
There
you
we
can
go.
tell
La
people.
Esperanza frente a mí. It's out since July 29th. You can get it now.
Danny Gokey.
Oh, muy bien.